We lost a lot of guys, man. It was like July 11th.
Lost as in lost
Like,
like
a lot
died
of- yeah.
or lost? Okay.
Yeah.
When you're talking
GPS
about
lost.
conflict, that's
Yeah.
I heard
that's
it
what
just
lost me.
it just
Yeah.
didn't find their way back to the bunker.
No. So
That's me. I get lost. With this thing that's going on, man, Russia, Ukraine, it's a lot of, when you look at social media, Twitter and stuff like that, I mean, we over here and it was like a week of panicking, like, are we going to participate in this war? And then what? They're going to need extra people. They're going to do a draft. Like what? So what are some things that is going to affect us? This war, is it affecting us currently?
So it's affecting us basically our economy. Like it's
Okay.
going like as far as like gas prices, we go see gas prices go up anytime.
Is
there's
that just
a,
an excuse, or is it a real thing? Like, is gas going up for a real reason, or is that just an excuse to run the prices
everybody
up?
has their opinions, you know.
Okay.
So on the back end, we look at it like, oh, they're just trying to pull some inflation. But then once those borders cut off, like right now, you got cargo ships that stuck out to sea still for like past 5 months, and that's just based off the pandemic. Now, say if we start going into war and we go out there in Ukraine and we start kicking off, okay, everything's gonna stop.
Right.
We're not gonna it's import export. That's where they hit us at.
But if it stops, is increasing? What is the thought of they're going to buy less gas because we're increasing the price? I mean, because at some point you're just going to run out of fucking gas, right? I mean, whether it's cheap or high.
To be honest with you, bro, we get most of our gas out of Canada and stuff. Canada and Mexico. Like the fuel and stuff, it's pipelines through there. When it comes down to like not necessarily the Middle East, but when it comes down to like Ukraine and everything, we got to worry about nuclear. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's nothing for just like you press a button on your computer.
Yeah.
It's nothing for one of them to get upset and just be like, oh, you know what? Boom, we out of here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
the nuclear option.
yeah, that's the problem that we have to worry about because if Putin decides to say, okay, you know what, I feel like pressing the button. Let's go ahead and press the button, and it hits Ukraine.
Yeah.
But once he hits that button, everybody else is going to chime
React,
in.
yeah.
Everybody's going to react.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The only way to react is to send the same thing. And that's that's where the conflict comes in. Now, as far as affecting us, as far as the draft, they ain't taking nobody looking like me right now. So, you know what I mean? Like, if you ain't in tip-top shape and you in your 20s and, you don't have no ailments, you ain't got to worry about doing it.
My thought too is that the way war is fought now, it's not as human intensive as it was in the past. It's way more technological, and so the need, for a mass draft of young people to just literally flood the war zone with humanity is not as acute as it was in prior conflicts, and so I think that the threat or fear of that occurring on a wide scale is probably a bit exaggerated. Technologically, I would suspect everybody could kill everybody without adding a man to the military.
And see, that's the thing there too.
In truth.
My barber, he was like, when I would come home on vacation, he's like, his son is in Colorado making the same amount of money as I am in Afghanistan. I'm like, okay, what is he doing? He's like, he's just driving the drone.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? He's in Colorado. He's in the Air Force. He's driving the drone. We're boots on ground or whatnot, on base or convoying out, regardless of whatever it is that you're doing. And it's like, technically, we're going into that. Like, the test run was when they shot those drones and, dropped those bombs with those drones.
Right.
That's the test to see, okay, this is how it's actually going to go down.
Right. Right.
So to think about it as, oh, yeah, we all go, let me go ahead and shoot myself in the foot. Okay, you'll be a dummy. You know what I mean? It's not going to get to that point if they start drafting people. But my thing is, too, is what I ask people, okay, what happens if it was here? Like, if we had to go to war right now, everybody's a gangster. Everybody's, so big and bad until it's here.
Right.
Nobody has to face it here. Bro, literally, like, you got government contractors, like, their boots on ground, no gear, just out there working, supporting the military.
Right.
Somebody comes on base, had it happen in Iraq. A couple of guys come on base. bases on blackout. What do? Me being me, I had a whole whatever set up to where I'm like, I'm good. You run to my room, I'm good. I'm set. You know what I mean? So, but you have to think about those things because you go straight to cover. You know, you go straight to cover, and when you go to cover, that dude can walk up at any point in time and press a button, and boom, you out of here.
What was the most dangerous place you were at as a government contractor?
Iraq. I had cat lives in Iraq.
What does that mean?
I was in Al Sadr City,
Okay.
Iraq. So that's east of Baghdad. They got you can look it up, man.
Is it as bad as what we all think it is? Because when we think Iraq, Iran, we really think something like
Iraq was terrible. I won't ever go back to Iraq. I don't care what nobody say. You can offer me $400,000. I ain't going to Iraq.
Really?
Yeah. It took too many chances, man. Like, I'll give you an instance. One day, you know, I'm going out checking on my guys. They were working on some stuff. And I had some foreign contractors that was working for us. So I go out there and check on them. I look at these guys and say, man, those are none of my guys.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the roof. I said, you know, I had somebody come out and take care of some stuff. I said, are those your guys? He said, no, those aren't my guys. So I got on the horn, said, hey, B-Doc, can you look at these people and tell me? He was like, okay, clear out. Automatically, so I'm getting my guys. I'm like, don't get sporadic, you know, act funny, just clear out. Dude, not even 5 minutes later. 5 minutes later, argues, you do. I'm like, and this is in June, so it's 110 degrees outside, bro. We dropping down, and then I hit them hot ass rocks.
Right.
So I get my ass back up. I'm like, shit, this just gonna have to hit me, boy, while I'm running to this bunker, you know. But we lost a lot of guys, man. It was like July 11th.
Lost as in lost like
a
died
lot of,
or lost? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about
So,
conflict. That's
yeah.
I heard
lost me.
it just didn't find their way back to the bunker.
No. So
'Cause that's me. I get lost.
they brought some guys. We were getting ready to transition, and when you transition and you get passing the base over back to whatever country you're in. So when they brought these guys on, like, you know, you see them walking around and everything, and they got cell phones. So with cell phones, I can walk and I can track everywhere I'm walking.
Okay.
So about 2 weeks later, we get incoming at 5:45 in the morning.
Really?
I'm talking about, I done ran to the front of my room, boom, one hit. Run to the back of my room, ain't no way out. I got a bathroom back there. Boom, till I hit up under the bed. And it just kept coming in. Then I go, somebody knock on my door. I open the door and it's just black.
Really?
It's just like black. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what has gone? Like, what happened?
Yeah, that's
So you're in that situation. You're under enemy fire. They're dropping bombs, or what are they dropping?
So they have these log bombs. So like it's like you taking a AC. The water heater.
Okay.
So it's like you taking a water heater and you just loading it up with C4 or whatever it may be.
Okay.
They put it on the back of this truck. The video's on YouTube too. They put it on the back of this truck, and they have a detonator.
Okay.
So the person hops out the truck, light it, hops out the truck, and then somebody from a mile away is videotaping it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they just start going off, and they're called log bombs.
Okay.
So they just lob them in, and wherever they hit is where they hit.
Right.
But these were going in a straight line. I mean, it was
really
crazy.
in that situation, though, you all you can do is just take cover and hope for the best.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
You don't
man.
have any strategic options at that point.
Yeah. Like we have there's a system called a C-RAM, and a lot of times I don't know if you've seen me post a video, but it's I forgot the actual term for it, but what it is, it's like a machine gun. It just knocks down whatever rounds coming in, like a mortar. It'll knock it down out the sky.
Oh, okay.
So that stuff is real. Like a lot of it's on a Navy ship. It's actually Navy created, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but when you're looking at it, it's like, okay, what do you do at this point?
Right.
Then you go over there and like it's a movie scene. It's literally a movie scene. It's like, this can't be real. I gotta be dreaming.
Right.
And it's like, is this really happening? But then you come to reality of, yeah, this is really happening. I done had a situation where I was on a terrible base. Where I was like, they was like, call your parents, call your family, let them know that you probably won't be able to hear from them for 24 hours.
Okay.
And you just never know. You know what I mean? So it's like you got.
What like you knew an attack was coming, or
it was like they get intel. You know what I mean?
Okay, and then at that point you lockdown, cut off.
Yeah, and we was in
communications.
between the Sunnis and the Shiites. That's two
Okay.
different types of Islam.
Okay.
So we were in between them, so they were kind of shooting over our base. So it was different.
You mentioned cell phones. I don't know if you know. I mean, are you able to track enemy movements through cell phone signals?
So just like NCIS and all that stuff is fake to a point.
Okay.
A lot of it's real. So they have a system that literally it can lock onto your car. You can go under a bridge, everything come back out. That bridge, it'll still be locked onto you.
Okay.
And so it reduces the mass casualty.
Right.
So if I'm targeting just you, or if I just want to hit just this building,
Right.
there's a system and there's a actual rocket that can hit just this building and cause less damage to like McDonald's. Or
Surrounded.
something.
Right,
Oh,
right, right.
damn,
Yeah,
I didn't know
yeah.
that. Now that I didn't know.
Now they just bust the windows out of McDonald's,
Yeah.
but they got some other ones where, Florida Mall will be like, okay, well, did we just have an
Yeah, I
earthquake?
mean, precision weaponry. I mean, that's that again. It's like, modern warfare. It's not necessarily about mass casualty.
Yeah.
It's about strategic targeting, strategic weapons that knock out things that help a government or a force operate.
It costs less for us.
How does that intel work? Because in theory, you want to do a surprise attack on somebody. So is it somebody in the room snitching like, okay, we're doing it, okay, and they go into the bathroom to call like, yo, they coming. What y'all going? You might want to hide. So how does that work? Like,
I mean,
How do they
with everything, you always have some kind of informant. At some point, there's always an informant. Oh, can you get my family to the U.S. if I tell you this?
Right.
You know what I mean? So like a lot of the what is it? What do you call them people that speak another language?
Translators?
Translators. A lot of translators, they get immunity and come to the U.S.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Them and their families, because leaving them in Iraq or Afghanistan somewhere, they ain't gonna last too long.
too high risk.
Yeah, they ain't gonna
high
last too
risk.
long once they find out that you've been working with the U.S.
So a lot of these movies.
But I think you also do like a lot of satellite imagery, and you track movements of equipment
Sensors.
and things of that nature too.
Yeah. That's just like how you were saying before.
You can see, because that was the thing with the Ukraine. You saw like masses of troops, and then actually a friend of mine, we were talking the other day, and one of his friends, there was the period of time before the invasion occurred where it was kind of like people were skeptical. They're not really going to do it. They'll back off. But one of this guy's friends, he was saying they actually started to set up field hospitals, which would be in anticipation of casualties. If you're not going all in, that's an unnecessary move unless you're carrying out like an elaborate ruse.
Right now, the news that we're getting, to be completely honest with you, man, I look at Al Jazeera. If I want news about
Good old
something,
Al Jazeera.
Al Jazeera, man. One thing about it with Al Jazeera, man, they go let you know exactly what's going on. Vice News,
Okay.
they don't hold back, man.
Okay.
Like our media is saturated. It's to the point to where like my mom used to call me like, what y'all got going on over there? I just seen such and such, and I'm like,
Oh, man.
Mom, I just came off the basketball court. I'm good. You know what I mean? But then in situations where like I'm in the cafeteria, we up under the table with our plates because we taking income, and it's like,
Yeah.
but you get so used to it. It's like you get desensitized and like institutionalized to
Right.
being in those environments.
Are you here?